Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this explosive edition of our daily dive into the world of celebrity drama and royal intrigue. Today, we're peeling back the layers on one of the most talked about television moments of the year, the infamous clash between beloved ITV morning show host Lorraine Kelly and none other than Prince Harry himself. Picture this: it's a crisp autumn morning in London, the studio lights are bright, the audience is buzzing with anticipation, and Lorraine, with her signature warm Scottish lilt and no-nonsense demeanor, is ready to chat about Harry's latest ventures in philanthropy and his life across the pond in California. But what starts as a seemingly cordial interview spirals into a heated exchange that ends with the Duke of Sussex being unceremoniously asked to leave the set. Yes, you heard that right, kicked off the show. As we unpack this jaw-dropping incident, we'll explore the build-up, the blow-up, and the fallout that sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace, Hollywood, and every tabloid desk from here to Tinseltown. Lorraine Kelly, a broadcasting veteran who's interviewed everyone from pop icons to prime ministers, has built her career on being the approachable yet incisive voice of the morning crowd. At 65, with decades on air, she's seen it hollow awkward silences, diva tantrums, and everything in between. But this was personal, raw, and utterly unscripted. Prince Harry, the 40-year-old rebel royal who's traded crowns for causes, arrived on the set of Lorraine fresh off promoting his latest initiative on mental health awareness, a topic close to his heart since the tragic loss of his mother, Princess Diana, back in 1997. The interview was billed as a light-hearted catch-up, touching on his Invictus Games triumphs, his reconciliation efforts with the royal family, and whispers of a potential memoir sequel to his blockbuster Spare. Cameras rolled at 9:15 a.m. sharp, the theme music faded, and there they were, Lorraine in her chic emerald blouse, smiling broadly, extending a hand to Harry, who looked dapper in a tailored navy suit, his trademark scruffy beard neatly trimmed. The audience of about 150, a mix of loyal fans and curious passers-by, clapped politely, sensing the electric potential of a royal on daytime telly. Little did they know, within 12 minutes, the atmosphere would thicken like fog over the Thames. It all began innocently enough. Lorraine kicked off with praise for Harry's resilience, saying, "Your Highness, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. You've turned pain into purpose, and that's inspiring millions." Harry, ever the charmer, flashed that megawatt smile and replied, "Thank you, Lorraine. It's great to be back in the UK, chatting with someone who gets the real grit of life." They delved into his work with Better Up, his mental health advocacy, and even a chuckle over his polo-playing prowess. Viewers at home, sipping their morning tea, where the ratings were spiking, social media was lighting up with heart emojis and Team Harry hashtags. But Lorraine, sharp as a tack, had done her homework. She's no stranger to the royal beat, having covered the Windsor saga for years on her show and in her columns for the Daily Mail. And she wasn't about to let the prince skate by without addressing the elephant, or rather, the elephant in the room that's been trumpeting since 2020, the Sussexes' dramatic exit from royal duties, the Oprah bombshells, the Netflix deals, and the lingering frost with Big Brother William and Father King Charles III. As the conversation flowed, Lorraine leaned in, her eyes twinkling with that mix of warmth and steel. "Harry, we've all rooted for you through the tough times, but let's be frank, your book Spare stirred the pot, didn't it? Those family revelations. Have they healed anything, or just widened the rift?" Harry's face shifted subtly, a flicker of discomfort behind the practiced poise. He paused, taking a sip from his water glass, then launched into his well-rehearsed defense. The need for truth-telling as catharsis, the media's relentless hounding, and how vulnerability is strength. It was polished, passionate, the kind of soundbite that's earned him TED Talk invites and podcast deals. But Lorraine wasn't buying the full script. She's a mother, a grandmother, a woman who's navigated her own share of public scrutiny, and she values family above all. "I hear you on the press. Love is brutal, but families forgive, don't they? You've got a little girl, Archie, Lilibet. Don't you want them to know their grandparents without this shadow?" The audience murmured in agreement, a few nods rippling through the crowd. Harry bristled, his jaw tightening just a fraction. Lorraine, with respect, It's not that simple. The institution protected me until it didn't. We're building our own path now, for our kids' sake. The temperature in the studio was rising, not from the lights, but from the undercurrent of unspoken barbs. And that's when it tipped. Lorraine, ever the straight shooter, pressed further. But isn't there a hypocrisy here? You decry the monarchy's rigidity, yet you're still trading on your title, your story. Spare us the poor me narrative when you're worth millions from it all. Gasps echoed from the audience. Yeah, had she gone too far? Harry's eyes narrowed, his voice dropping an octave. That's unfair, Lorraine. I've never hidden my privilege, but I'm using it for good. You of all people, with your platform, should understand amplifying voices. The exchange accelerated, words flying like sparks from a flint. Lorraine countered with, amplifying, or exploiting? The royals have given you everything and now it's take. Harry shot back, and what about the takes from the family? Silent on the racism allegations, silent on the security threats. The studio froze. Producers and the control booth exchanged panicked glances, fingers hovering over the commercial break button. Viewers at home were glued, tweets exploding. #Lorraine vs. Harry trending worldwide within seconds. It was no longer an interview, it was a showdown. Two strong-willed Scots-descended souls. Harry's got that distant Highland blood, after all, clashing over legacy, loyalty, and the price of fame. As the clock ticked past the 10-minute mark, Lorraine's producer slipped her a note via earpiece, "Rapid ads now," but she ignored it, her face flushed with conviction. "Prince Harry, I respect your journey, but this show's about real talk, not royal spin. If you can't handle the heat." She trailed off, but the implication hung heavy. Harry stood abruptly, microphone still clipped to his lapel, his chair scraping against the polished floor. "Then perhaps I should go," he said, voice steady but laced with frost. The audience held its breath as he strode toward the exit, pausing only to nod curtly at the crew. Lorraine, composure cracking just a hair, called after him, "Safe travels back to Montecitoa. Think about what I said." Cut to black. Straight to adverts for digestive biscuits and holiday getaways. The internet imploded. Clips circulated faster than wildfire. Did Lorraine just eviscerate Harry? Royal walkout iconic or ice cold? Pundits piled on. Piers Morgan, Harry's old nemesis, tweeted gleefully, "Finally, someone calls out the spare for what it is, a spare change from grudges." Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Meghan was reportedly furious, according to palace insiders whispering to TMZ. But let's rewind a bit, shall we? To understand the depth of this detonation, we need context on Lorraine Kelly herself. Born in 1959 in Glasgow, she cut her teeth as a journalist in the gritty world of local radio, rising through the ranks at TVM and then GMTV, where she became the nation's wake-up call. Her style? Relatable, resilient, with a knack for blending fluff, celebrity gossip, and substance. Serious interviews on abuse, health, and social issues. She's won Lifetime Achievement Awards, penned bestsellers, and even has an MBE for services to charity. Lorraine's no shrinking violet. She's grilled politicians on Brexit, confronted stars on scandals, and once walked off her own set in solidarity with striking crew. Her audience adores her for it. 1.5 million daily viewers, mostly women over 35 who see her as that wise aunt who'll tell it straight. Prince Harry, on the other hand, is the ultimate wildcard. Fifth in line to the throne, or sixth now, with kids in the mix. He's the fun-loving prince who served in Afghanistan, founded the Invictus Games for wounded vets, and dated Hollywood's finest before settling with the poised Meghan Markle in 2018. Their 2020 Megxit was seismic, as stepping back from senior royal roles amid claims of media racism and suffocating protocols. Since then, it's been a whirlwind. The Oprah Tell-All, 60 million viewers, the Spotify Podfail, the Netflix Polo Doc, and Spare, which sold 6 million copies and raked in $20 million. Harry's a global brand, but one perpetually dogged by what if. So what if he'd stayed? What if Diana were here? What if the family reconciled at Charles's coronation? This interview was meant to be a bridge, a PR soft landing during a UK visit for Well Child Awards. Instead, it became a bonfire. As the ad break ended, Lorraine returned, face composed, but her eyes betraying a mix of regret and resolve. "Well, That was lively, wasn't it? She quipped to the stunned audience, who erupted in applause, half shock, half solidarity. Co-host Christine Lampard jumped in with a weather segue, but the damage was done. Behind the scenes, ITV execs scrambled. Was this gold for ratings or a diplomatic disaster? Harry's team issued a terse statement. The Duke appreciates open dialogue but was disappointed by the tone. Palace sources, crickets, but you can bet the diaries are fuller than ever. And the public, divided down the middle. Royalists hailed Lorraine as a lioness defending the firm. Sussex squad called it bullying by a biased broadcaster. Memes flooded TikTok. Harry striding out edited to dramatic movie scores. Lorraine captioned when Andy snaps, but beyond the spectacle, this moment taps into deeper veins. The monarchy's relevance in 2025, the commodification of trauma, and women's voices in media holding power to account. Lorraine didn't just kick Harry off, she cracked open a conversation long overdue. As we move into the heart of this saga, let's dissect the exchange beat by beat, because every word mattered. It wasn't just snark, it was a mirror held up to Harry's narrative, reflecting cracks he'd rather gloss over. Lorraine's question on hypocrisy, spot on while he rails against privilege. His Archewell Foundation pulls in $11 million annually, much from royal tide branding. Harry's retort on security, valid, post-2023 threats, but dodging the family angle felt evasive. The walkout, theatrics or dignity, historians will debate, but one thing's clear. Daytime TV just got a royal rumble for the ages. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the immediate backlash and how this reshapes Harry's UK return. Picking up right where the studio door slammed shut on Prince Harry's exit, the control room at ITV's London headquarters was a hive of hushed urgency. Producers huddled over monitors, replaying the segment in slow motion, while Lorraine, off air now, sipped chamomile tea in her dressing room, reflecting on the whirlwind she'd unleashed. I didn't mean for it to go that way, she later confided to a close colleague, but sometimes truth needs a shove. Meanwhile, across town in a discreet Mayfair hotel, Harry's security detail whisked him away to a waiting Range Rover, his phone already ablaze with messages from Montecito. Meghan, watching live from their Montecito mansion, had texted immediately, "Are you okay? That woman ambushed you." The prince, staring out at rainy Regent Street, felt the old familiar sting of the isolation that drove him stateside in the first place. But let's zoom out to the viewer reaction, because that's where this story truly ignited. Within minutes of the broadcast, #Lorraine kicks Harry topped UK trends, amassing 2.3 million impressions on X alone. Clips, ripped straight from DVRs, went viral on YouTube, racking up 5 million views by lunchtime. Comments sections were battlegrounds. Lorraine is a queen who finally someone said it. Versus poor Harry. Media witch hunt continues. British tabloids, sensing blood, hit the streets with extras. The Sun's splash read Lorraine's royal roast to Harry flees after feud. While the Mirror opted for spare the drama, Duke dumped in 12-minute teletiff. Across the pond, American outlets like People and E! framed it as British snub to Sussex sympathy, with TMZ's Harvey Levin breathlessly speculating on divorce rumors ever the pot stirrer. Social media amplified every angle. Influencers dissected body language. Harry's crossed arms signaling defense. Lorraine's direct gaze screaming challenge. TikTokers recreated the walkout with royal filters, garnering millions of likes, while Reddit's Royals subreddit exploded with 10,000 new posts. Theories ranging from staged for ratings to genuine rift exposing Harry's thin skin. ITV switchboard lit up like Christmas praise calls from loyalists. You tell him. Lore, complaints from royal watchers, disgraceful disrespect to the crown, and even a few from Harry's fans abroad. Boycott ITV. Ratings, through the roof, up 40% from the previous Monday, proving controversy is catnip for morning TV. But amid the frenzy, voices of nuance emerged. Columnists like Camilla Long in The Times praised Lorraine's gutsy journalism, arguing it humanized the royals by treating Harry not as untouchable heir but accountable adult. Others, like Guardian's Marina Hyde, skewered both. Lorraine's folksy probe feels as scripted as Harry's therapy speak. Internationally, it rippled further. Aussie breakfast shows replayed it with glee, dubbing Lorraine Down Under's dream interviewer, while in Canada, where the Sussexes honeymooned goodwill. CBC panels debated if this chilled their charitable gigs. Harry's camp, ever strategic, held fire initially, but by evening, Archewell dropped a subtle Instagram post, a black and white photo of Harry with Invictus athletes, captioned "Real conversations change lives, grateful for the platform, onward." Subtext, loud and clear. Lorraine, for her part, addressed it on the afternoons this morning, guesting with Holly Willoughby. "Look, Harry's a good lad at heart," she said, softening her edges, "but family's sacred. I pushed because I carry a tough love, Scottish style." Holly nodded empathetically, steering to safer shores like bake-off teasers. Behind closed doors, though, ITV faced heat from higher-ups. A Buckingham Palace equerry reportedly rang the exec producer, voice icy, "This doesn't help reconciliation efforts." No formal complaint, but the chill was felt. Lorraine's personal life intersected too. Her daughter Rosie, a showbiz journo herself, texted Mum, "Legendary, but call me lateral wine needed." As night fell, the story evolved into late-night fodder. James Corden, Harry's old Montecito neighbor, joked on his CBS slot, "Mate, next time, stick to polo or less fouls." Conan O'Brien quipped, "Lorraine's the real Sperry and no one's cutting her off." Satirists pounced spitting image, fresh off its reboot controversy. "Remember that Paddington puppet slide?" Teased Lorraine puppet with a comically oversized broom to sweep out royals. By midnight, Google searches for Lorraine Kelly net worth spiked. It turns out she is sitting on £20 million, built from savvy investments and that MBE glow. But let's not gloss the human toll. For Harry, this wasn't just a bad interview. It echoed the 2019 fake news front page nightmares, the courtroom battles with tabloids that cost him £1.5 million in legal fees. Sources close to the Duke whispered of a sleepless night, poring over transcripts, questioning his UK media strategy. Advisors urged a pivot, more controlled plots, fewer live lions' dens. For Lorraine, the adrenaline crash hit hard. To veterans no post-confrontation wobbles. Yet she stood firm, tweeting, "Honest chat greater than polished PR. Thanks for watching, team." Morning motivation. Her fans rallied, flooding with mugs and cards. "You spoke for us all." This backlash wasn't monolithic. It fractured along generational lines. Boomers cheered the "tell it like it is" vibe. Millennials mourned Harry's woke warrior image taking hits. Gen Z mimed it into oblivion. Feminists lauded a woman in her 60s dominating a narrative often ceded to young starlets. And the royals, silent publicly, but privately, aides to William buzzed with shade and free Udia karma for spare. One allegedly smirked. Charles, per Vanity Fair leaks, sighed over tea, "Boy needs to learn when to bow out gracefully." As dawn broke on Tuesday, the story simmered into think pieces. The Atlantic pondered the end of royal deference on daytime TV, while BBC's Newsnight framed it as soft power versus straight talk. Lorraine arrived at the studio early, script in hand, ready for damage control, or was it triumph lap? Her team prepped a follow-up segment with royal expert Ingrid Seward, who opined, Harry's walkout was pure Windsor. Duty demands decorum, but he's all drama now. Viewer emails poured in, a tapestry of opinions. A Manchester nurse wrote, "As a single mum, I get Harry's pain. But Lorraine nailed the family beat. A mind's fractured too, yet we patch." A Kensington teacher countered, "It's class warfare disguised as chat." Lorraine's middle-class moxie versus Harry's aristocratic angst. The discourse deepened, touching on mental health ironies. Harry's campaigning for openness, yet clamming up under fire. Critics asked, if vulnerability is his brand, why bolt at scrutiny? ITV capitalized, teasing what happened next. Special, promising unseen footage and expert takes. Harry's next move, a low-key well-child visit, dodging mix, focusing on kids with cancer his forte, unscathed, but the scar lingered. Future invites. Icy. This incident didn't just boost ratings, it recalibrated expectations. No longer is Harry the untouchable prince, he's fair game for anti-types like Lorraine, who remind us, even dukes must dine with the devil sometimes.